Yes.
How much better do you think your guys will be ready to go on the road this year?
Don't know until we get out there and play. Talking to a young team, and you know, we're seeming to start games better. We're seeming to play better defense. We haven't sustained it. I mean, even LSU in the second half, for a 10-minute stretch, it was an even game in the second half. And so, but we're trying. I mean, we got a bunch of guys trying. They understand what I mean about being content and being committed, and they're trying.
Cal, did you get a lot of feedback from your appearance Friday night in Eston?
You know what? I did. And when I went out recruiting, I was stopped by a lot of people who were really, really kind.
Make you feel good?
Yeah, you know, the best call I got was from my daughter telling me that, you know, just proud that I was asked to be on the panel. Forget about what, you know, she just said, Dad, you understand, you know, just to be asked to be there was something special for her, she said. So, you know, it was really a neat experience. The one, you know, what I talked to my team about, because they have uniforms on, you're treated different. If you didn't have those uniforms on, you'd be treated different. And they got to understand that there's still a ways to go, and that because they're content in how they're treated, you know, there's still reason to stand up and make sure if there's anything unjust that you see out there that you state it and you say something. Because if you don't say something about it, you're agreeing with it. That was our message today too.
Terrence said some good words about you, and have the players given you a lot of feedback about it?
It was funny. They liked that I went up and said it would be absurd for me to say I understand what it means to be African American in this country or in the 60s or at this time. Terrence says, I'm glad you said that. You know, but it was from the heart. I mean, the one thing for me, I was not at all uncomfortable in any environment, in that environment, and the views that I have are based on how I was brought up. You know, the story that I was just at my two aunts now live in my grandmother's old house, and I was going to take a picture of the two houses that are next to each other. This house was the Harleys, a black family, and this was my grandmother's house, and literally they were feet apart. And when I was about 9 or 10 years old, there was stuff going on in Coraopolis, and my dad left my mother's house with me, and Mr. Harley was on the front porch, and he said, Vince, you're fine, I got your mom. And I thought, what a nice man. That was the beginning of my race education. So I've been blessed. I mean, you know, you're brought up, you're born in certain areas and different things, and I've been fortunate, and it wasn't, you know, it was by chance.
Cal, Dr. King is so ingrained in Memphis. This is a big part of that. How much did your time there influence the way you feel about him, or just the
Well, it gave me a better understanding. I was from the Northeast. When you're from the Northeast and you're not from the South, you don't have the same feeling about race. But when you get in the South and you go to the Civil Rights Museum in Memphis, you talk to the leaders of the community who have been there in the 60s and the 70s. And you go, no way. Oh, yes way. That's the way it was. And it kind of shocks you. And I'll be honest with you, when I first heard all this stuff, I wasn't real comfortable hearing it. And so you're not comfortable when you know, and then you start hearing more, and you're more uncomfortable. But I would say that, you know, all of us here probably don't have the idea, because, you know, we were so young at that age in the 60s when it was really hot and heavy. But there's still subtle things now. I'll just give you an example. My assistant and I are going on an airplane. I'm at Massachusetts, mid-90s. It's 10 years ago, 8 years ago. We sit in first class, and the stewardess says, can I see your ticket? To my assistant. Doesn't ask anybody else for their ticket. Well, my assistant looks, Bruiser Flinton, says, why are you asking me for my ticket? And then you know me. I can't keep my mouth shut. You didn't ask me for my ticket. Why are you asking him for his ticket? And so that kind of stuff, you know, it's still subtly there, but we're all making strides. And I mean, we're all conscious of it, we're trying, but to say it doesn't exist today is not being truthful.